it's been a while, and yeah, things have changed. I need to do these devlogs more often because I noticed that I work relentlessly on this thing, and when I have to talk about what I've done, it's like I can't remember. So I guess I'll just try to go. I'll probably miss a bunch of stuff, but yeah, let's start with the heroes. So the UI has changed for the compendium by a lot. I think I refactored things like 1.5 times because the compendium thing is very important. It's basically the sanity check for the whole game. If this doesn't make sense, then nothing in the game would make sense. So to get this stuff correct is very important. So all the stats, all the race, class information, what kind of passive, and even if you click one of these, you can see that humans can always, for example, roll. Goblins, actually, every single race can do the roll except for a construct. This is like we have like a training dummy, and it can't really do anything. So, but this compendium is it's the one place where everything makes sense, or at least it's supposed to. There's a bunch of automatic stuff that ensures that, for example, every single character has to define a race and a class. If they don't define this, it's gonna like explode and send me an error. And it's good. Like this has simplified and like streamlined a lot of things. Like all the humanoid characters have a lot in common. So the code will reflect how that looks like as well. So reducing variability in code is what the compendium is for, and it's one of those. It's like a dynamic documentation, I call it, and I won't be. I mentioned this before. I won't be showing all of this to the players because this is way too much information. The player will probably not even see the compendium. I might make like a simple compendium that is available in the main menu, but this is like the developer compendium. Like everything about the game is defined here, and it makes it easy to explain a lot of the things. Like I guess we'll start from this class. So this is like the assassin class, uses poison, and the class is defined here. And if you click here, we can see that the assassin class uses, toxins and critical strike, critical hit chance to, kill people. And this class inherits two passives. One is lethality, so every critical strike does poison, and another passive moves with a lot of speed, so he gets a lot of dexterity by default, and 15% crit chance, because why not? And he gets a bunch of. I guess these aren't gendered, but I'm just gonna use he because I don't really have a term to describe these characters currently. So this one does this much damage, 2 plus 10%. So two flat damage and 10% of strength. So this is a strength scaling. Yeah, you get the point. A lot of these abilities have certain conditions, like how much damage do they do, and how does the damage scale. They're all defined in the ability, and some of the abilities give you stacks of poison, for example, which is a status effect defined here. And what is poison? It applies one toxin damage, which is a damage type, per stack per second, and it's reduced by poison resistance. So what is toxin? Well, toxin is the damage type of poison itself, which is reduced by. Like everything is connected here. It's like one of those I guess the word, the proper word is the dependency chains are robust. So you can just go down the tree of dependencies, and you'll always, it will make sense. It has to make sense, because if it doesn't, it will crash. Like the program will assert and tell me that, wait, this doesn't make any sense. So that's why I'm using this to show the mechanics, because it's the way it currently works. It's a bit confusing, but it's gonna make for a deep set of rules for the game. I played Eugenics, and I liked the game a lot. It was very simple to learn, and it had a lot of fun graphics, a lot of fun music. But once you played like 100 hours, you realize that there's not much to it. Like it's not as deep as you would think. Once you look at the mechanics, and it stopped being fun. Like once the story ran out, it wasn't fun anymore. Balatro is like a good example of a game where it's just the mechanics, and it's still fun. Like you can beat the game like a few times, and unless you get all the cards, and you've tried all the cards, it doesn't get boring. But even with that game, once you get all the cards, it's like the combinations don't really carry the game. Like all the synergies. Some people like that kind of stuff, but personally, it got boring once I unlocked all the cards, all the jokers. So I'm gonna try to avoid that by adding a lot of nuance to a lot of the characters. And the best way to do that is by embedding a lot of the abilities into weapons, and putting the abilities into characters as well, and maybe even some like items. I haven't done the item thing, but some items give passives currently. So I guess to like simplify it, my way to avoid this problem where once you unlock everything the game becomes boring is just to add a lot of fucking shit. A lot of shit. And now all of our weapons have 2 variations. Like, and I can expand this. I could give certain abilities like 10 levels. I think the most extensive form of this is the immune tree. So you can get immunity, and you can level up this up to 4 times. And certain characters can learn it from the level up tree. So there's a lot of branching things you can do. That makes me notice something. Like I love League of Legends, and I think the reason why I like that game is because there is so many characters, and there are so many abilities. Like a minimum of 4 abilities per character, and there's like 100 plus characters, so you have like 500 abilities, I'd say, and you just can't remember all of them. So you can't brute force it. You have to just adjust your play style as you go. You can't like what's the word for it? You can't plan too far ahead in like League of Legends, because you don't know what's gonna happen when in the champ select. Like, what is the enemy gonna pick? Stuff like this. And if the game is too simple, if there are too few conditions, you can it becomes very very predictable and boring. So a level of randomization with as many abilities as possible, and as many passives as possible. So abilities that are always on, should give me enough combinations of enemies. And of course we have races, like I could mix and match the race, but the races don't really change. They change the base stats basically. But even this is like a small modifier. Like might have an orc, which is a boss, or a ranger, or an assassin, and they might have a very specific inventory. Like I can randomize the inventory for the characters based on a bunch of like inventory kits. So I could have like 4 different assassin builds that I randomly choose between for the enemies. And if it's an assassin type, I might have like, it might choose one of them. So this level of random, I guess I'm trying to recreate the randomization you would get from something like League of Legends. It's a really scary thing to do. Scary thing to do though, because it's a lot of work. But I'm trying to make the game I would want to play. So like a single player version of League of Legends with Hades style of combat, with a bit of a Slay the Spire with the map here. Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. It's good to record this because I get a better idea of what I want myself. But that's the game I would want to play, because it would never get boring. You would have almost an infinite amount of combinations that aren't trivial. You could argue that Balatro has an infinite amount of combinations, and that's true, because it's a card game. Those just have. But I guess I'm talking about meaningful differences, like something that is so nuanced but has meaning. Like there could be a character that gets a specific item, like one of these warding amulets, that suddenly breaks your broken build. So you have to play around this situation. Like maybe you have a fire enemy that is immune to ice as well, so you can't kill him because fire enemies are inherently immune to fire damage. So then you would have to be like, oh, do we have physical damage? Oh, well, no, I'm playing as a mage. So you would have to like unequip your wand and like punch the thing. Like these are like hypothetical scenarios that could happen, and I love that kind of I guess this is very close to what the Dwarf Fortress developers were talking about. That game has like this weird unintended situations which forces you to do something specific to like survive the situation. I want that level of granularity, and that's what I'm trying to do currently. Well, I know this is really hard to follow, but it's because I took a really long break, as I mentioned before, and it's really hard to keep track of the changes. It's really hard to balance being a good narrator of your progress and a new good developer of the progress. But yeah, I'm gonna stop recording. This is already 14 minutes. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, if it doesn't, it probably will make more sense when I record more often.